We all have questions.
What is it that hinders me, stopping me from getting to where I want to go?
Find the answers on the Dani Johnson Show.
You can't reach for anything if your hands are still full of yesterday's junk.
Keep moving forward with Dani Johnson.
So that you can get to the destiny that you're after. There is another way to live, my friend. There is.
This is the Dani Johnson Show.
Welcome to the Dani Johnson Show. We're stoked that you decided to join us today, and I promise you, you're not going to be sorry you did. Today, we're going to talk about how you can actually increase your value in the marketplace. I don't want to say, I think it's going on 26 or 27 years ago. It was a long time ago, I'll just say that. I was introduced to the business community. I didn't grow up in a business family. I grew up in a welfare home where there was a lot of drugs, a lot of violence, a lot of abuse. And I wasn't raised around people who were educated or, very smart. They were TV smart, I'll just say that. There was a lot of TV that was on in the house, and that was the main education source. And sports and soap operas and sitcoms and all of that stuff. It was pretty, and the news. Oh, yeah, I hated the news growing up. But anyway, when I first got introduced to this business community, there were several people that were very, very successful in that business community. And I was very intrigued by how they thought, what they said. They had goals, they had dreams, they were doing something with their life. They kind of had some kind of a purpose or vision for themselves. And so obviously it was like such a different culture than where I had come from. And there were some things that I picked up along the way that I want to pass on to you today. Because you really do have more control over your career, your business, your finances, as well as your relationships than you actually think. You see, we can't change people, but we can certainly change how we communicate with them, how we treat them. We can change how we react to them. In fact, maybe we should act instead of react. There's a lot of control that you and I personally have based on our own personal conduct, what comes out of our mouth, what comes out of our eyes, what comes out of our body language. And one of the things that this very successful millionaire had told a group of us, maybe 300 of us that were in a room, we had paid to hear him speak. And one of the things that he said was to learn more about people than you do your product or your service, and you'll be unusually successful. Now, at the time, I couldn't stand people. I trusted no people, largely due to the way that the environment I grew up in. It wasn't safe, and it really, life had proved to me at that point, all of the 19 years I'd been on the planet, that people were just not safe. But he said, learn more about people than you do your product or service, and you'll be unusually successful. That statement kind of made me go, what? How is that possible? Because I was one of those in my early green years of business. I wanted to know everything there was about that product that I was marketing. And I wanted to understand the studies and the market. I wanted all of the statistics. I wanted to know every part of how it was all put together, scientifically how it was put together. Because I was under that assumption that if people were going to trust me, it was going to be because I had all the right answers, or that I had an understanding. I was educated and I could answer those complex questions with some major complex answers. And the more and more I learned about the manufacturing of that product, or the engineering of it, how it was scientifically put together, and all the facts and the figures of what problem it solved, the less money I was making. I'm not kidding you, man. My first 6 months, I couldn't make anything happen. I was failing so bad. Kind of like a dead fish on a dock, that's losing its last breath. I mean, I was failing so bad. I was living off of my credit cards to pay rent and to pay for my car payment and, food and all of that stuff. And I didn't realize it for a long time later that it was because I was focused on trying to impress people with my knowledge, impress them with my statistics, impress them with my understanding about the manufacturing scientific facts about this, that, and the other thing. But all that did was give people something to think about. It certainly didn't make anybody say, yes, I would love it, and yes, our office would love to use this, and no, So I was going to starve if I didn't learn some new things. And man, that first millionaire that I had the chance to learn from, and many of us had the chance to learn more about people than you do your product, and you'll be unusually successful. That thing stumped me. He went on to say that you got to learn how to love people. And oh man, I'm telling you, I'm done. I'm quitting. I'm go goodbye. I hate people. I did. I hated people with a passion. I just hated them. I just knew that they were going to be like everybody else in my life, and why in the world should I ever trust anybody? Well, here it is all these years later. That simple little tidbit of advice really changed my life. Because I began to study people. I've been studying people for more than a quarter of a century now. Wow, that's a long time. But in the study of people, I've found some things to be really quite amazing. And we're going to talk about those things today. And these things are going to help to improve the quality of your business, career, your finances, your family, as well as change your future. If you can wrap your head around this concept of learn more about people than you do anything else, you'll be unusually successful. So what are some things that we've got to learn about people? Well, there's many things. We all have some things that we really care about, and there are some motivators that are in every single human that are quite the same. One motivator that is the same in all of us, and Dale Carnegie, I think, wrote this best, was to give people a feeling of importance, help them to feel special. That if you make people feel special and important, you then become something very special and important to them. You see, when in my early days, all I cared about was impressing people with my knowledge and understanding of my product. That did not make anybody feel special and important. It just made me look special and important, but it did not make them feel special and important about themselves. And if somebody else doesn't feel special and important about themselves, they certainly can't feel special and important about you. So I was hurting my business. I was hurting my finances because I didn't understand that concept. But Dale Carnegie wrote a book. I'm sure you've heard of it. I'm sure you've read it. It might be time, as it is time for me, to dust that sucker off and read it again. How to Win Friends and Influence People. I was a homeless woman when I found it because that first business, I failed the first 6 months, and then I went on to make $50,000 in 6 months. It wasn't bad for a 20-year-old kid 25 years ago. But I ended up homeless. And being homeless was not fun. And I found that book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, at the grocery store. And I made the choice to, instead of buying food, to buy the book instead. And I found why I had no friends. I found why I was homeless. I found why my husband ditched me. I found why I had lost that business. I found why I was deserted by everybody, including my family, in the first 3 chapters. Yes, I was somebody that constantly complained. I criticized people. And I condemned people with my mouth or with my looks or with my body language. Again, when you don't trust people, that's pretty much how you communicate with people. Yeah, you'll tend to be critical, condemning, and yeah, you'll complain a lot. And that's who I was. And to be honest with you, I have to fight myself. I have to catch myself if I ever start going in that direction again. But I found in the first 3 chapters of that book why no one wanted to be around me. And why nobody wanted to back me. Now, right now, you might be thinking and saying, well, Dani, I don't complain. I don't condemn anybody. I don't criticize people. But I'm still not getting promoted in my job. My business still is not growing. But I'm an encourager of other people. Listen to me, friend. Now is not the time to defend yourself. Now is the time to look in the mirror and really look at what comes out of your mouth. And the 93% nonverbal communication, which is your body language, your tone, how you project yourself to others. Because if we project ourselves to others in a complaint, or we are condemning, or we like to criticize, meaning you walk into a restaurant, the first thing you say is, this place is a dump. Or you look at, I think I would have put those plants over here. You somehow take it upon yourself that you would do a better job than what they're doing. Okay, let's get back to this. Your job. You see, I want to help you get promoted in your job. I want to see you grow and get bonused handsomely. I want to see you become so valuable in the marketplace that you are the #1 person recommended for whatever it is that you do. It is possible that you grow no matter what company or business it is that you are working for. We have seen this tens of thousands of times with our clients. even if it's a down market for your type of product or service. It doesn't matter, because what matters is your relationship with the people. And oftentimes you and I can be living, working, talking, breathing a certain way, and we don't realize that we are saying things, doing things that causes people to feel insecure, causes them not to like the place of business that they're doing business with. Let me give you an example. Let's think of the dollar store, okay? The dollar store. Have you ever been to one? The Dollar General or the dollar store? I know you've been to one. I've been to one. It's where I get wine glasses. Wine glasses and countertops, they don't mix well. But if you only spend $1 on the wine glass, you'll be fine. You can replace it with $1 versus a $10 wine glass that's just going to shatter as soon as it lands in the sink. And someone's trying to wash it. They set it down a little too hard. Bam, the sucker's gone. We've all been, or not all of us, but most of us have been to a store where we can get something for $1, right? Have you ever noticed the quality of people that work inside of the dollar store? Now listen, I hope you're not going to get all offended and get your heart racing. But have you ever noticed the quality of communication skills? Have you ever noticed how they do not talk to you directly? Have you ever noticed that there's very poor eye contact? And usually the people that are working there, they don't take a lot of pride in their work, nor do they take pride in taking care of themselves. I'm not talking about the wrong kind of pride. I'm talking about the right kind of, well, dignity, let's say. They don't have dignity in themselves. Greasy hair, lots of flakes, not well cleaned, not well groomed, and usually not deodorized. Just usually people that have not taken good care of themselves, and unfortunately many of them look like they've had their time and their fill around the block with either drugs or alcohol. You just can see it. Sometimes you can actually smell last night's whiskey on their breath. Not good people skills. You ask for help, you ask for something, it's over there. When they're checking you out, they're not talking to you. They're focused on that item that they're punching through. There's no smile. There's no genuine interest in you as the customer. But it's even in some cases, you're kind of a pain in their neck that you even ask them a question. That somehow they are doing you a favor versus you're actually the one keeping them in that job because you actually shop at that store. Let's analyze our own conduct daily and see what places where we can improve the overall business as well as our reputation in the marketplace. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue after this.
Coming up next on The Dani Johnson Show, which comes first, the great job or great attitude?
Radio talk show host Dani Johnson in Kadwa, Haiti.
Hi, I'm Dani Johnson, and I'm here with Fida in her tiny little home. This home is the size of many people's closets in the United States of America. Now, we're sitting on a bed, just a piece of sheet or plastic that these beautiful babies sleep on. They have nothing. This family has nothing. No water, no food, nothing. Won't you do something? The Bible says that if you ignore the cry of the poor, then you too will cry and be ignored. They're not asking for nice clothes. They're asking for food. That's it. Food, water. You can help. We want to build her a home. We want to bring water, clean, fresh water here. But we can't do it alone. We need you.
Help us radically change a community. Go to kingsransom.org to make your donation to Kadwa, Haiti. That's kingsransom.org.
Okay, if you know me at all, I don't want you spending a penny more than you have to on anything. This is one of those things. If you're a business owner and take credit cards, you're paying too much unless you're working with my friend Kevin at Prestige Merchant Solutions. He's so confident that if he can't save you money, he'll pay you $100. Listen, if you're accepting payment by credit cards, check it out. 850-200-0709. That's 850-200-0709. Kevin guarantees guarantees 5-star service. He guarantees he'll save you money, and he'll pay you $100 if he can't. No risk, right? So what are you waiting for? Call today. It's quick to change your current service, incredibly reliable, 24/7 support, and payments are processed quickly. Tell him Danny sent you. There's nothing to lose. Call 850-200-0709. 850-200-0709. Stop overpaying today.
Is God calling you to the entertainment industry? Rise for God. Do you want to be an actor, model, singer, or dancer? Shine for God. Do you think the world needs better role models? Be a star for God. Actors, Models, and Talent for Christ is coming to a city near you. A new generation of Christian performers is rising. Call 800-STAR-420 or go to amtcaudition.com. God gave you talent for a reason, to shine for Him. We're searching for actors, models, singers, and dancers. Log on to amtcaudition.com to find out when and where the next audition will be held. Entertainment's the best opportunity for Christians to change the world, and the time is now. Are you ready for the call? Log on amtcaudition.com or call 800-STAR-420. Actors, Models, and Talent for Christ. Register for your audition today. Call 800-STAR-420 or amtcaudition.com.
With all the changes happening in healthcare, Christians want to know, is there any option that's God-honoring, affordable, and acceptable under the law? The answer is MediShare. It's not insurance. It's a nationwide community of believers who share each other's medical bills. Unlike individual insurance plans, which are now required to cover the morning after pill, your healthcare dollars never pay for things that go against your beliefs. There's no enrollment period, so you could sign up anytime. You choose your doctors from America's largest provider network. And yes, it's affordable. Family options average around $300 a month. MediShare is healthcare Christians can believe in.
Learn how thousands of Christians can help you save on your healthcare. For your free information guide, call 855-90-BIBLE. Not available in Montana. MediShare, affordable biblical healthcare. Call 855-90-BIBLE. That's 855-90-BIBLE.
Dani Johnson here, and you're listening to The Dani Johnson Show with tens of thousands of people just like you. People thinking about what you think about, talking about what you talk about, and needing the same products and services you need. It's a place where like-minded consumers gather, savvy business owners, marketing directors, and responsive individuals making significant buying decisions. From consumer home goods and services to business products, people just like you needing the same things you need. They should be buying your product and service or doing business with your company. I'd love to help. To find out how to advertise on this show, email info@intelerep.com. That's info@INTELEREP.com. Or call 251-928-9400. That's info@intelerep.com or 251-928-9400.
This is The Dani Johnson Show. And now, here's Dani.
There I was at the dollar store, and man, that woman that was there, you could tell she hated her job. You could tell she didn't want to be there, and you could tell that I completely annoyed her with asking her a simple question of where an item was, or even if the store even had it. And that attitude gave me a different attitude about that store, so much so that I haven't been back since. Do you realize that you have a great power of influence over the people that are coming into your place of business, or even the coworkers that you're working with? Do you realize that you have more influence and more power to get yourself promoted as well as to get yourself demoted? You do. Oh, I know you might be sitting there saying right now, Dani, you don't know what you're talking about, girlfriend. My boss never sees what I do. My boss ignores me. He doesn't appreciate, no matter how hard I work, they don't see anything I do. I'm out of here, man. I want to be done with this. Well, friend, I'm sorry to tell you, you have much more power of influence than you realize. You have much more power to get yourself promoted than you even realize. And I hope today, in today's show, based on the people who are going to call in and share how they've been promoted in their jobs, different strategies and secrets they've used, and or what has gotten them fired. Right now, here's the phone number if you want to share secrets of how you got promoted and or things that you did that got you fired. Someone's either going to get a promotion and save themselves from getting fired based on what you say. 844-200-3264 is the phone number. Again, that's 844-200-3264. 844-200-3264. Call us. Tell us your comment. Tell us, how did you get promoted? What strategy did you use? Or how did you grow your business? What are things, techniques that you use to be able to do that? And or if you made some big mistakes, what did it cost you? Did you lose a job? Did you lose a business as a direct result? Listen, you've heard this before. I think it was Zig Ziglar that said it, that your attitude determines your altitude. I think we all can use a little attitude adjustment or like an attitude checkup to see where we at in that. I ended up homeless because I constantly criticized, condemned, and complained. And nobody wants to be around somebody that is always complaining, always criticizing, and always condemning. Nobody does. And I did that so well, I lost it all. All right, going over here to the phones. I've got Lily from Florida. Welcome to the Dani Johnson Show.
Hey, Dani. Hi.
Hi, go for it.
Oh, okay. I was actually, I'm going to comment on being promoted. I was working from home as a freelance ad person, and, you know, I wasn't making a lot of money at that. So to make ends meet, I started doing a job as a substitute teacher. Mm-hmm. And I didn't really take that job, you know, very seriously. I went in, I took attendance, I was with the kids, I did the job that was required of me, but I really wasn't I wasn't really committed to the whole teaching thing.
Right.
And I heard one thing from you that really changed everything, which was prosper where you're planted.
Yep.
And I just started treating that job differently after I heard that. I started to come in with a different attitude. I started basically taking it seriously, even though it was like maybe a one-day job or a 3-day job,
yep.
I was treated as if they were my students forever.
Nice.
And I started to even ask for extra work, like if I happened to have a planning period, yep. Where I didn't have anything to do, I would ask for more work, or I would ask other teachers if they needed help with grading, and I would just like smile and walk around and inform all the teachers, and inform the staff, and inform the students, and I just started to really get in with everything that I had heard you say about treating the job, with respect.
Yep.
And eventually, I started to get requested for jobs. The teachers started asking for me. And, it became really awesome because I pretty much had a job every day. And I just kept doing the job. I had as much work as I wanted.
Wow. Wow.
Eventually, the principal noticed, and she hired me as an interim sub. And that was about 1.5 years ago,
wow.
maybe 2. And I did 3 internships in subjects I really was not qualified to teach these subjects, but I did everything I could to learn the subjects. Yep. I would go into other teachers' classrooms that were teaching the subject, and I would say, hey, it's my planning period. Can I come by? And
so
can I just watch what you're doing?
Yeah. Lily, you know what is so crazy about what you're saying, and it's such a difference, when it's all in how we look at our job. It's how we look at the work that we have in front of us that really determines what our attitude is from it. And if we look at that job as, oh, this is nothing, it's just part-time, it doesn't mean anything, well, then it becomes less of a part-time job, and it becomes less of anything. This is Dani Johnson. We're going to continue with the Dani Johnson Show right after this.
We know you want that bonus, raise, or promotion, so you should stay tuned to the Dani Johnson Show.
Is God calling you to the entertainment industry? Do you want to rise for Him? Do you want to be an actor, model, singer, or dancer and shine for God? Do you think the world needs better role models? Do you want to be a star for the Most High God? Actors, models, and talent for Christ is coming to a city near you. A new generation of Christian performers is rising. Call 800-STAR-420 or go to amtcaudition.com. God gave you talent for a reason, and that is to shine for Him. So we are searching for actors, models, singers, and dancers. Go to amtcaudition.com to find out when and where the next free audition will be held. Entertainment is the best opportunity for Christians to change the world, and the time is now. Are you ready for that call? 800-STAR-420 or go to amtcaudition.com. That's actors, models, and talent for Christ. Register for your audition today.
Ever wondered how to advertise on the Dani Johnson Show with tens of thousands of people just like you listening? Thinking about the things you do, talking about the things you do, and needing products and services you need? Savvy business owners and marketing directors advertise on the Dani Johnson Show. Advertise your products or services on the Dani Johnson Show. Email info@intellerep.com or call 251-928-9400. 251-928-9400.
Now, more of the Dani Johnson Show.
What kind of an attitude are you bringing to work every single day? Is that attitude one of, this is nothing, I just have this part-time little substitute school teaching job, just kind of make ends meet kind of a thing? Or are you doing what Lily did? Lily called in on the last segment and she was sharing that was her attitude in the beginning, and that she really didn't put much into it. She just did the minimums as a part-time substitute school teacher, but then she heard, whether it was on this show or through our website, DaniJohnson.com, about prospering where you're planted, and that we're supposed to bring more value to the place in which we are working than what was there before. And so what does it mean to prosper where you're planted? Make where you're at grow. And how can you make it grow? Well, Lily took some very specific strategies, and not only now was requested by other teachers, now had a job every single day, but now being promoted by the school principal, given a full-time position, and even learning to teach subjects that she had no experience, no understanding of at all. And that's what happens when you begin to prosper where you are planted. That's what happens when you bring value into the marketplace versus looking to get value out of the job. It's look to bring more value into the job. Same if you own the business. Quit trying to just get value from the marketplace. You've got to give value into the marketplace if you want the marketplace to pay top-notch, high value for your services. And so this is a prime example, what Lily just shared. Rather than treating that part-time little thing like it was nothing, she treated it like it was very important. She took ownership in that thing. Began to sow her life into the students, looking for places she could help other teachers, rather than taking advantage of. And Lily, I got to ask you this question. Lily, you were talking about that you were given a planning period, but you're the sub, so you don't need to plan anything, right? You're already given what you're supposed to do. So before you got the mindset of that, what I would call a 2% mindset of prospering where you're planted, Lily, what did you do with those planning periods beforehand?
Oh my gosh, Dani. I used to come to work with my computer and do my work that I had from my freelance business.
Yep.
I used to go downstairs and buy snacks. I used to sit around and I used to call my friends sometimes. If I was in a portable, I used to call my friends. I would say, hey, I'm in my planning period.
I got nothing to do. Let me waste your time too.
And I never went back to that. I never went back to that. I got so busy. And I really enjoy it. It's surprisingly, it's like the perfect fit for what I wanted for my family.
Yep. Absolutely.
I'm going to continue doing the other.
Wow. Lily, I'm so proud of you. I really am. I mean, this is really an amazing story. And it's proof that if you prosper where you're planted, and what does that mean? I have to make where I'm at grow. I have to make it better. I have to give if I expect to receive. And so oftentimes, exactly, I got a free hour to do nothing. So let me do some other work from another job, or let me just waste time. Let me call my friends. Let me get on Facebook. You're getting paid for that hour. then you need to benefit that place that is paying you for that hour versus cheating that place by giving them no value for that hour. And that's exactly what Lily did. She used to waste the hour. Now she's invested the hour, and now she's been promoted not once, but countless times. And she's brought higher value to everybody that she's working with. Lily, I'm proud of you. Thank you so much for not being a taker, but being a giver. Thank you so much for bringing higher value into the place that was paying you and now yielding greater value from it, because we get out what we put in. That's the bottom stinking line. It really is the bottom line. I've got Sarit from Raleigh, North Carolina. Welcome to the Dani Johnson Show.
Yes, hi. I'm just super excited and gaining so much wealth and wisdom from this call. My question to you, I am a small business owner, just starting out, needing provision. I want to find out the best way I can use what's in my hand to give value to the marketplace.
Well, again, that's a big, broad question, Sarit, and congratulations that you are a budding entrepreneur. I wish I had like a standing room only going, yeah! I'd be cheering you on with flags and fireworks and everything. Congratulations for stepping out and spreading your entrepreneurial wings that's inside of, I believe, everybody. The very first profession on the planet, we're entrepreneurs. We were all business owners. Whether you believe we came from monkeys or guppies or cavemen, we all started off having to provide for our own needs, making our own money, making our own food. It is in every single one of us. So I'm really proud of you for doing that. The thing you should ask yourself, Sarit, is ask your customers, how can I give you more value? How can I bring you better value? Versus how can you use more of yourself? The best thing to do is to find out what the marketplace wants. Business is not about you being able to be your own boss or you being able to use your own ideas. Business is about bringing good service to the marketplace and filling a need that others cannot fill in your region or with your skill set or what is inside of your mind. And so what is in your mind may not be what somebody else wants. So you got to research the market and find out what are the needs and how can you fill those needs. I finally had to learn that after being a homeless woman. I did. You see, so much of the what's out there in the marketplace says, find what you're passionate about or find what moves you. Follow your dreams. You know, I'd still be a homeless woman if I took that advice. I would. But I had found a business that I didn't like, that I didn't believe in, that I wanted nothing to do with, that I was actually embarrassed of, that did not work for me. Okay? I had become a customer of a weight loss program. And the program, I stopped using it. I didn't follow directions. I actually gained 25 pounds in 3 weeks. Okay? Bad deal. All right? I didn't believe in any of it. I didn't like the way it tasted. I didn't like the way it made me felt. Nothing. But it was an option. And after 30 days of being homeless, I finally was like, I'm done with myself. I have to find something to make money. And just so happens, hello, here was this program staring me in the face. I didn't like it. I didn't believe in it. I didn't think it would work it didn't work for me. So, I could have wrapped my head around saying it's not going to work for anyone else. But the bottom line is the weight loss industry is a $33 billion business. There's lots of people who need to lose weight. 1 out of 2. Okay, 1 out of 2. So they care about it. I didn't care about it. I didn't like it. But the market was looking for a weight loss program. There are thousands of weight loss programs that are out there to choose from, and it doesn't matter because people are always looking for another one. I've tried a few. I'm sure pretty much mostly everybody's ever had a weight problem. We've all tried a few, so it doesn't need to be one weight loss program out there. There's tons of them. And so the fact is that there was a market, and I found and I tapped into that market. And so when I finally just focused on giving other people what they wanted, that is when I was able to generate a successful business to the tune of making $250,000 my very first year in business. So, Sarit, that's what you got to do. You got to find out, what do people want? What are they looking for? What are their needs? And your job is to help fill that need. Sometimes your product, your idea, or your service can actually directly fill that need. But other times, there's an indirect need, and I started today's show with it. People want to feel special and important. So let me show you like this. Let's say that you sell televisions. All right. There's tons of places people can get a television. But when you walk into an electronics store and you end up with a very unprofessional, unkempt, rude, pushy salesperson, it doesn't matter how cheap the television is, you're leaving that store and you're going to go find some other place to buy the television from. So it's what kind of service can I give? How can I treat my clients, my prospects, with the utmost amount of honor and respect to where they don't ever want to go anywhere else for this kind of service or this kind of product? Fill people's needs. They want to feel good about themselves. Make people feel better about themselves while they're in your presence, and continue that relationship with them, and they'll continue to want to do business with you. It's relationship first, business always follows. A big mistake that budding entrepreneurs make is that it's the now, how do I make cash right this minute? Yes, I understand you got bills to pay, but people will see dollar signs in your eyes if you lead with your desire to make money. But if you lead with, I'm here for the long haul, I want to give the best possible service that I can, I want to make sure that our prospects or our clients feel better about themselves after they've come in contact with us, and you follow that all the way through, whether they bought with you or not, but you continue to build relationship, you'll continuously get referrals. Because today, more than ever, people are looking for good service more than a better product. They are looking for really good service, and people are willing to pay more money for better service because they're tired of bad service, and paying good money for bad service makes everybody upset. So that would be for the budding entrepreneur. That's my advice for you. It worked for me. It has worked for tens of thousands of our clients. It's going to work for you. And by the way, Sarit, I don't know if you're a first-time listener on the Dani Johnson Show, but I'd love to give you a free copy of the book, First Steps to Wealth. It's how I went from homeless to millionaire in 2 years with a business. All the strategies, they work today. They worked then. They're going to continue to work because it's all about people building relationship first. Business always follows. If you call our office, you can get your free copy of the book, 866-760-8255, or go to DaniJohnson.com. Again, that's 866-760-8255. The book is called First Steps to Wealth. If you're a first-time listener to the show, go ahead and grab your free copy of that book as well. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more right after this.
Become part of the solution and earn more money. We'll talk about that coming up on the Dani Johnson Show.
Okay, if you know me at all, I don't want you spending a penny more than you have to on anything. This is one of those things. If you're a business owner and take credit cards, you're paying too much unless you're working with my friend Kevin at Prestige Merchant Solutions. He's so confident that if he can't save you money, he'll pay you $100. Listen, if you're accepting payment by credit cards, check it out. 850-200-0709. That's 850-200-0709. Kevin guarantees 5-star service. He guarantees he'll save you money, and he'll pay you $100 if he can't. No risk, right? So what are you waiting for? Call today. It's quick to change your current service, incredibly reliable, 24/7 support, and payments are processed quickly. Tell him Dani sent you. There's nothing to lose. Call 850-200-0709. 850-200-0709. Stop overpaying today.
Radio talk show host Dani Johnson in Kadwa, Haiti.
Hi, I'm Dani Johnson, and I'm here with Vida in her tiny little home. This home is the size of many people's closets in the United States of America. Now, we're sitting on a bed, just a piece of sheet or plastic that these beautiful babies sleep on. They have nothing. This family has nothing. No water, no food, nothing. Won't you do something? The Bible says that if you ignore the cry of the poor, then you too will cry and be ignored. They're not asking for nice clothes. They're asking for food. That's it. Food, water. You can help. We want to build her a home. We want to bring water, clean, fresh water here. But we can't do it alone. We need you.
Help us radically change a community. Go to kingsransom.org to make your donation to Kadwa, Haiti. That's kingsransom.org.
Get ready to live the uncommon life. Here's Dani Johnson.
Dani, my dead-end minimum wage job is never going to result in me going anywhere or building any kind of good income. Actually, the dead end is in your head. It is not in the job. It's in your head. You've got the wrong mindset concerning the job. Because here's the facts. The facts are that you have the power to influence and you have the power to change how you're treating everybody on that job. You have the power to create more value for yourself in that job. Do not take on the mindset of others that have been around you that have this pathetic way of thinking that it's a dead-end job. There's no future. There's no way to move up. I'm not the son of the owner. Therefore, I don't have opportunity. That's all a big fat lie. I've seen it countless times, tens of thousands of times, where I've seen our clients learn specific strategies that have helped them to get promoted. Not once, not twice, but multiple times. Here's Carrie. She's one of the listeners, a faithful listener to the Dani Johnson Show. Yeah, she used to think she had a dead-on job. She had not gotten a raise in years. She had not been bonused. Well, she put on a new set of strategies that we talk about in the book, First Steps to Wealth, which if you're a first-time listener to the show, you can get your free copy of this book on our website, DaniJohnson.com. But she applied some of the strategies in this book, and she ended up with a year-end $21,000 bonus that she was not expecting. Not at all. She learned specific places that made herself more valuable at work that also caused the company to grow. Whereas before, she couldn't see how to make the company grow. She couldn't see how to be able to influence the company morale. But once she read this and she applied this, she started prospering greatly. 866-760-8255 if you'd like to get your copy of First Steps to Wealth. That's 866-760-8255 if you're a first-time listener to the Dani Johnson Show. Call that number, and if you would like a physical copy, you pay the shipping to get the $15 book to your house, and we'd be happy to send you a copy. If you don't want a physical copy, you can go ahead and get the ebook version of the same exact books. All the same words in an ebook. You can download it right now. You can start reading it right now. It's our gift to you if you're a first-time listener to the Dani Johnson Show. Again, the phone number is 866-760-8255. 8255. So we're talking about how do you get raises? How do you get promotions? We've heard some stories of some people who've called in saying this is how I did it. And there are some also who've gotten fired because of not having the right attitude. And some who've just been in that dead-end situation because they didn't understand what they needed to understand. So I'm going over here to John on line 6 from Far, Texas. John, welcome to the Dani Johnson Show.
Yeah, Dani, I was the top agent in the call center, but I missed a lot of days of work due to my kids being sick, so I never got a raise or promotion. I was constantly overlooked for that.
Yeah. Yeah, so are you married?
Yes, I am married.
So are you a single dad, or does your wife work out of the house also?
My wife does work. She doesn't work out of the house. She has a job as well.
Okay.
And we both work, and we don't have any other family member to actually take care of the kids, so it's either me or her that's going to miss work.
Yeah. Well, John, let me ask you this. If you were the business owner, what would you do in this situation with an employee that's missing work because his kids are sick?
That's really tough for me to be honest with you. I really don't know.
Okay, John, I don't know is a cop-out. I really want you to think about this, because if you want to get promoted in a job, you have to think like the owner. You got to think like the owner. And so think about, if you own that business, what is the cost that an employee who misses work a lot, what's the actual real cost to the business?
That's definitely a big one.
Yeah.
I think as being the owner, trying to resolve it, I think maybe trying to accommodate the employee in the sense of maybe changing the schedule to be able to help that employee.
Do you think that's the owner's job?
During the day,
Do you actually think that's the owner's job?
I don't. I really, I think I kept asking myself the same question on how they see me and how they see the situation.
Yeah.
And that's kind of one thing that really caught my attention. And because I definitely understand the business does have needs, and if it's pretty much, if I'm not there, then that's one less person, bringing business to the business. And
especially in a call center situation, you know what I mean? Because if one person doesn't make it to work, that means that they're behind now in call volume and solving the problems of the customer. So let me just let me paint a picture from the other side view. And I think it's very interesting that you said, well, I would somehow create a schedule that would work better, but I don't know that's actually going to stop your kids getting sick. It's not. But it's the business owner's job to stay in business so that they can continue to pay the employees. That's the priority. Is their job is to bring in revenue so that everyone keeps their job. That's their job. And so to grow that business or sustain that business, they've got certain processes that are in place to be able to fill the need of the client. The client is always first, because if the client isn't first and given the service to the client, well, then we have no business. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay. So in this case, to be honest with you, I think you're really lucky to still have a job. And I wouldn't be looking to get promoted if I'm not consistently showing up to work. And so honestly, I'd be sitting down with your boss and say, thank you. I desire to get a promotion, but I know that I probably should never even look at that right now until I can figure out my kids' situation getting a bit more stable, or working something out with my wife that I'm the primary breadwinner of the household, and it's her job to stay home with the kids when the kids are sick. And so I ask you to forgive me for all the times that I've added extra pressure to you. I ask you to forgive me for the times that I've missed work. I'm trying to juggle a lot of things, and I would like to know anything else that you think I can improve on so I can raise my value here at work, because I want to grow with this company. I want to help this company grow. Is there anything else that I could be doing to help improve my performance here? So I'd have that conversation with your boss, and I'd start be thinking about, if I was the owner, what would I do in this situation, and what are my priorities, and how can I help grow my business? And if you start to think in terms of that, you'll start be looking for ways to decrease his stress and increase his sales. And as you do those two things, decrease his stress, increases sales, you are going to have much more control over your schedule, and you're going to have much more control over your bank account, because those are two very important things to a business owner. Decreases stress, increases sales. Now you are a prized performer. So look at ways that you can do that and have that conversation with him, and maybe have that conversation with your wife of who makes sense to be home when the kids are sick. And look at, what are we feeding our kids? How much rest are they not getting? Are we getting sugar in their body? Try to solve the problem of the kids actually getting sick. That was something that we did to make sure that we set their bodies up with the best possible health as possible, so that they weren't missing school. We weren't missing other important things that we had, responsibilities that we had as well. So, John, those are some problems that need to be solved. You can't keep going in the same direction and expect to get a promotion. 2 simple ways to get promoted. Try those 2 things. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more after this.
There's no job too small if you take ownership of your position in the company. Dani Johnson talks about that next.
If you're a Christian who's paying too much for healthcare, you're going to love Medishare. It's a nationwide community of believers who share each other's medical bills. It's affordable. Families average around $300 a month, and it's accepted by America's largest network of health providers. Plus, the healthcare law has a special provision for Medishare members, so you're exempt from any tax penalties. But here's the best part. Medishare is based on the timeless principles found in God's Word. You never have to pay for things that go against your beliefs. Medishare is healthcare the way God meant it to be.
Learn how thousands of Christians can help you save on your health care. For your free information guide, call 855-90-BIBLE. Not available in Montana. Medishare, affordable biblical health care. Call 855-90-BIBLE. That's 855-90-BIBLE.
The Dani Johnson Show is here to help you.
We want to see your economy thrive.
Helping you focus and set your priorities.
And you can do this by learning the skill sets, the strategies, and the mindsets of 2% of the population.
The Dani Johnson Show.
Listen closely.
What are your weaknesses? What are your greatest strengths? And what are your weaknesses?
Learn how to make the most out of your strengths in this life and how to grow in the direction that is best for you and your family. This is The Dani Johnson Show.
Value. You bring value every day to work and home. You bring value everywhere you go, or you devalue yourself at work, or you devalue yourself at home. Today we're talking about ways you can increase your value at work as well as at home. You have more control over your financial life than you would ever understand. This is Dani Johnson. Welcome to the Dani Johnson Show. This is the second hour of the show, and we're going to continue this conversation of how do you get promoted in today's economy, in today's world? How do you not get demoted and fired in today's world? 844-200-3264. If you have that question, you can call us right now, 844-200-3264. We're going to do everything we can to help you. Listen, I'm not the chief expert on all things, but I can help in a few different areas, especially in this area of you increasing your value. I once was a homeless woman who had no value to anybody, none. And I had to learn the hard way on how to create value in the marketplace, so much so that it made me $250,000 my first year, $1 million by the end of my second year after being a homeless woman. Today, multimillionaire, international best-selling author and speaker, radio and television show host. It's all about value. It's all about relationship. It's all about filling needs. And I know this one quick thing that you can fill. If you decrease the stress of your boss and you increase the sales of the company, you are somebody that has high value. Look for problems you can solve versus you being the problem or one that brings problems. When you bring problems, I'm telling you, you might be finding yourself another job. And I'm saying that you're creating the problems, okay? People that create problems on the job don't keep their job, and they always blame somebody else instead of looking in the mirror. That's how I used to be. Big time. I ended up homeless because I constantly complained, I criticized, and I condemned people. I didn't trust anybody, and I was very judgmental of people. Therefore, I kept everyone at arm's distance, and the minute I had the opportunity, bam, my tongue was lashing. Well, I ended up homeless as a direct result of that. So it's time to look in the mirror today and look for ways that you can bring more value, get yourself promoted, get bonused, get yourself in a better earning position, all based on how you look at work and places that you find value, places that you find problems that you can bring solutions, and always, hands down, bar none, no question, if you help the company grow, if you help to bring in sales, even if it's one at a time, you're going to become more valuable to those that you're working with. All right, going over here to the phones, we've got Maria from California. Maria, welcome to the Dani Johnson Show.
Hi, Dani.
Hi. What can we do for you today?
Real quick. I have a question in regards to, I've been in the insurance industry for 20 years, and for the first time, I am starting to feel like this is no longer my career. Mm-hmm. But based in this world, you know, your age plays a big role in depending on if you want to switch.
Yep.
From careers.
Yep.
So my question is, I've been working for 7 years at this company, but I haven't received a raise because in their eyes, I'm overpaid. So Can we stop right there? I want to stop right there, okay? This is really important because, first of all, the fact that first of all, did you ask them why you hadn't had a raise in 7 years? I haven't gone in. So it's been something that's been bothering me for a while now.
Okay. Well, hold on, Maria. I have one more question. I know. Hold on one second.
Okay.
So you are then assuming the reason why you haven't gotten a raise is because you think you're overpaid?
Not because I think, but because they told me that when they hired, because they actually lower my salary like about $6,000.
Right.
And I waited out where, okay, it's a company that is smaller.
Yep.
So it's less drama. And it's 5 minutes away from my house. Less
right.
commuting, less stress. closer to my home to my kids, my
Right.
family.
Okay, so Maria, so you're assuming that 7 years ago, a statement that they invested into you, and they are paying you more than what they normally would have paid somebody taking on that job. So you're assuming that the reason why you haven't had a raise in 7 years is for the same, because of a statement that was made 7 years ago.
Yes.
That's the biggest mistake people make, is assuming they know. Would you like to know a solid answer why you haven't had a raise in the last 7 years?
Yeah, I would.
Ask them. They will tell you. Ask them.
I'm planning on going in there, but I don't know what type of attitude to go in there because I don't want to demand something either.
No way, you better not demand something. That's a great way to lose your job. So let me tell you what to do. Let me tell you what to do in this scenario. Okay, number one, do not assume you know the answer. Number two, if you haven't had a raise in 7 years, let's analyze the word raise. How does someone get a raise? That means they have to raise their personal value to the company. That's how you get a raise. Okay. Now, it doesn't mean, and this is another mistake people make all the time. Well, I got paid more in XYZ company. That doesn't matter that you got paid more in XYZ company. If right now in ABC company, you're not raising your value with ABC, well, then you are not going to get a raise. It doesn't matter what other people make in other businesses. What matters is what value, what need, what problems you're solving directly with the current job that you have. That's what you have to determine. So if in 7 years you have not gotten a raise, you have to look at this. What have I brought that's better than what they're paying me? Because the only way to get a raise is if you do more than what they're paying you. That's a raise. That's how it works. So that doesn't mean working more hours. That means raising your value. So in 7 years, well, forget it. Go in with this attitude. Humility. Humility is always going to get a raise far more than I haven't had a raise in 7 years. You people aren't paying me as much as I was working over there at XYZ. And I want to know why. Entitlement doesn't get a raise. It gets on the layoff list. Okay? The other thing is to sit down with humility and to simply say this. First of all, thank you so much for taking the risk that you took on me 7 years ago. I took this job because it was closer to my family. There was less stress that was going to be put on my family because of a shorter commute. And I really have enjoyed being 5 minutes away from home. And I really appreciate that even though I was making more than what you normally were paying for this position, you took that risk anyway. And I am so grateful for all that you have done for me and for my family and for a better quality of life. I'm really grateful, and I would want to go back to commuting, the long commute that I had and the stress that brought on. So thank you so much for taking the risk on me. Second of all, having said all that, I want to know what I can do better in serving you more. Tell me how I can improve in my conduct, because I don't ever want to feel that I'm being paid more than what my value is that I'm bringing here. I want to always give far more than what I'm receiving, and I don't want to guess as to what that looks like. So can you please tell me specifically, maybe give me 3 things that you see that I can improve on, that I could do better, or 3 areas, needs that are not being filled. Tell me what I could be doing to improve the overall work that's happening here, or if it has to do with how I'm dealing with customers or other coworkers. I want to improve, and I want to make sure I'm giving more value than what I'm being paid to do. That would be the question I would bring. How can I help this business grow? How can I help your job get easier? How can I help other people who work here, their environment to be better? What can I do to bring more value to this place that has entrusted me with this job? That would be the question, Maria, that I would be asking. When we get it in our head and we assume I'm being paid more than I should be for that job, now look, we start looking for the front door so we can get out of it. Like you were saying, I don't know that I want to stay in this job anymore. It's because there's no communication. So you be the one to initiate it, and I want you to be prepared that they give you a list. And if they say, oh, no, there's nothing, just say, I'm sorry, I don't want to settle for nothing. I want to do better. I want to grow, and I want to help other people grow here. So please tell me. And if you can't give me the list right now, please think about it for maybe 3 days. But I'm looking forward to action items of where I can improve. And please speak freely. If there's something I've totally screwed up on, if there's something I did 5 years ago that really rubbed you the wrong way or others the wrong way, please tell me what it is, because I don't want to stay the same. I want to grow. So be prepared to get a list of things. Well, so-and-so has a problem with you. Well, then you better, Maria, go make it right with so-and-so. Take full responsibility. Take not only full responsibility, but make whatever the wrong was right and begin to build relationship there. Getting a raise and getting promoted means that you have to grow in your people skills. That's the bottom line. People who make it up in higher places of management have better people skills. They don't necessarily have physical labor better skills. They have better people skills. So if there's a list of people that you know that you've offended or rubbed the wrong way or you haven't built relationship with, go and make those things right and take the advice that this person has given you and fix it. And as you do that, you just raise more value in the marketplace and you will see a promotion. And girlfriend, don't lose sight of the better quality of life that you've gotten by not having to commute. That's right there. Awesome. That to me is worth more than money, by far, because you weren't getting paid to drive, were you? No. None of us get paid to drive, to commute to work. So you actually are making more than what you think. You actually got a raise in a lifestyle, more so than a raise financially. And all of that stuff levels out. It really does. So Maria, go have that conversation. I want you to come back to me and tell me how it actually went. I appreciate, by the way, that you've been a hard worker for the last 20 years, too. I love that. I think that's important. All right, this is Dani Johnson. We're taking your call. You're wanting to know how to get promoted or bonused in your job or grow your business. 844-200-3264 is that phone number. Again, that's 844-200-3264. And by the way, if you want some in detail specifics, First Steps to Wealth, if you're a first-time listener, this book is for you. So you can call 866-760-8255 and get your copy now. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue after this.
Coming up, it's a challenge to take a real good look at yourself in the workplace here on The Dani Johnson Show. Next.
Is God calling you to the entertainment industry? Do you want to rise for Him? Do you want to be an actor, model, singer, or dancer and shine for God? Do you think the world needs better role models? Do you want to be a star for the Most High God? Actors, models, and talent for Christ is coming to a city near you. A new generation of Christian performers is rising. Call 800-STAR-420 or go to amtcaudition.com. God gave you talent for a reason, and that is to shine for Him. So we are searching for actors, models, singers, and dancers. Go to amtcaudition.com to find out when and where the next free audition will be held. Entertainment is the best opportunity for Christians to change the world, and the time is now. Are you ready for that call? 800-STAR-420 or go to amtcaudition.com. That's actors, models, and talent for Christ. Register for your audition today. Dani Johnson here, and you're listening to The Dani Johnson Show with tens of thousands of people just like you. People thinking about what you think about, talking about what you talk about, and needing the same products and services you need. It's a place where like-minded consumers gather, savvy business owners, marketing directors, and responsive individuals making significant buying decisions. From consumer home goods and services to business products, people just like you needing the same things you need. They shouldn't be buying your product and service or doing business with your company. I'd love to help. To find out how to advertise on this show, email info@intelerep.com. That's info@intelerep.com or call 251-928-9400. That's info@intelerep.com or 251-928-9400.
Okay, if you know me at all, I don't want you spending a penny more than you have to on anything. This is one of those things. If you're a business owner and take credit cards, you're paying too much unless you're working with my friend Kevin at Prestige Merchant Solutions. He's so confident that if he can't save you money, he'll pay you $100. Listen, if you're accepting payment by credit cards, check it out. 850-200-0709. That's 850-200-0709. Kevin guarantees 5-star service. He guarantees he'll save you money and he'll pay you $100 if he can't. No risk, right? So what are you waiting for? Call today. It's quick to change your current service, incredibly reliable, 24/7 support, and payments are processed quickly. Tell him Dani sent you. There's nothing to lose. Call 850-200-0709. 850-200-0709. Stop overpaying today.
Radio talk show host Dani Johnson in Kadwa, Haiti.
Hi, I'm Dani Johnson, and I'm here with Vida in her tiny little home. This home is the size of many people's closets in the United States of America. Now, we're sitting on a bed, just a piece of sheet or plastic that these beautiful babies sleep on. They have nothing. This family has nothing. No water, no food, nothing. Won't you do something? The Bible says that if you ignore the cry of the poor, then you too will cry and be ignored. They're not asking for nice clothes. They're asking for food. That's it. Food, water. You can help. We want to build her a home. We want to bring water, clean, fresh water here. But we can't do it alone. We need you.
Help us radically change a community. Go to kingsransom.org to make your donation to Kadwa, Haiti. That's kingsransom.org.
With all the changes happening in healthcare, Christians want to know, is there any option that's God-honoring, affordable, and acceptable under the law? The answer is Medishare. It's not insurance. It's a nationwide community of believers who share each other's medical bills. Unlike individual insurance plans, which are now required to cover the morning after pill, your healthcare dollars never pay for things that go against your beliefs. There's no enrollment period, so you could sign up anytime. You choose your doctors from America's largest provider network. And yes, it's affordable. Family options average around $300 a month. Medishare is healthcare Christians can believe in.
Learn how thousands of Christians can help you save on your health care. For your free information guide, call 855-90-BIBLE. Not available in Montana. Medishare, affordable biblical health care. Call 855-90-BIBLE. That's 855-90-BIBLE.
Helping you get a grip on your priorities and your focus. The Dani Johnson Show. Here's Dani Johnson.
Dani Johnson, my job doesn't matter. It means nothing. What difference could I possibly make at work? I'm at the bottom of the totem pole. Well, number one, because you think like someone at the bottom, therefore you will stay at the bottom, friend. The bottom line is this. You can make a difference no matter what your title is, no matter what your position is, no matter what level you're in or what your income is, you can actually bring better value to the place that has entrusted you and is paying you every week to work. I got to tell you a quick story. My cousin Bill, he had a drug problem and a drinking problem, just like many people that were my cousins and even some of my aunts and uncles that had those problems while we were growing up. And you know, he and one other cousin we were the closest, the three of us, like the three amigos. It was one girl, two guys. They were 5 years older than me. And do you know that my cousin, whenever he and I would talk, he would always tell me about how his bosses were out to get him. And then, of course, eventually he ended up fired. And then he would say things like, gosh, I was only 5 minutes late. I've only done that a couple of times. I was only a couple minutes late a couple of times. And my boss, he had it out to get me. And I got fired. Gosh, give me a break. The bus was late. Always seeing it from the victim mentality. That somehow his boss is supposed to tolerate him being late, not once, not twice, but countless times. It's amazing to me from an employee perspective how much mercy they seem to demand from the boss. But if they were the business owner, they would have a completely different perspective. The business owner that gets a crazy amount of stress added to him when somebody is not where they're supposed to be and not doing the job in which they're supposed to be doing. It's terrible stress. that then is equated out to the general marketplace, to the customers, where somebody's head is being snapped off on, or they don't have the best possible gracious service to that customer all the way around, yeah, it's a bad deal. But I hope you realize you have the power to increase the sales where you're working right now. You have the power to increase your personal influence by the relationships that you're building and whether or not you bring excellence and diligence and honor and respect to where you're working. You see, just showing up late shows dishonor and total disrespect. That's what it shows. And so many people expect an endless amount of grace when they have continuously hurt others by not being where they're supposed to be when they're supposed to actually be there. So let's just look at this for a minute. Are you like my cousin who has a sea of old bosses and you've been fired countless times, but it's all their fault? Or have you finally woken up, maybe grown up, and realized, start thinking like the owner. Start looking at it from his perspective. If you look to bring value to him, you're going to be more valuable to him and get raises and promotions. But if you are looking only to get what benefits you from the boss, I promise you, you're not going to get the promotions and bonuses that you desire. How can you help him with his business? How can you help him or her, grow? How can you help to decrease their stress? What can you do to help solve problems? Communication is absolutely key, and sitting down with that individual and asking them specifically what you can do to improve is going to give you a list of things. That is an awesome list that does what? Gives him a list that he'll get to grade you on, and once you fix all those things, you're flying colors with A's, buddy. You're getting A's, and A's means you get bonuses. A's means you get raises. That's what it means. So when you go in and you sit down with that boss, you say, hey, I'm looking for areas to improve. These are some areas I personally know that I need to improve and what I'm working on, but I'd also like a list from you so that I can make sure I hit the mark each and every day. I want to make sure that I am not one of those employees that's driving you crazy, causing drama, making your heart hurt, and that I'm not one of those people that you cannot trust. I want to be someone that you trust. I want to be someone that you know when you put a task in my hand that I'm actually going to get this thing done. So I would love to get this list from you so I can make sure and hit the mark for you and make things easier for you around here and help this company to grow. There you go. It's a simple conversation to have. So if you're wanting some more help on how to get promoted or get bonused, increasing your value out there in the marketplace, and if you are already working with excellence and diligence and you've been promoted, we want to hear from you too. We want to hear your story. 844-200-3264. Again, that's 844-200-3264. Call us right now and leave us your comment about what you need help with or what you've already been helped with and how it has improved your overall productivity as well as earning power, because you have the power to increase your income even in a dead-end job. Yes, you do. There is always a workaround, friend. There's always a workaround. You just got to get the deadhead out of your own head. Don't be a deadhead yourself. Call me now, 844-200-3264. We're going to continue with your call right after this on The Dani Johnson Show.
Climbing that ladder of success could take just a few small changes in your attitude. And that's coming up on The Dani Johnson Show.
Okay, if you know me at all, I don't want you spending a penny more than you have to on anything. This is one of those things. If you're a business owner and take credit cards, you're paying too much unless you're working with my friend Kevin at Prestige Merchant Solutions. He's so confident that if he can't save you money, he'll pay you $100. Listen, if you're accepting payment by credit cards, check it out. 850-200-0709. That's 850-200-0709. Kevin guarantees 5-star service. He guarantees he'll save you money, and he'll pay you $100 if he can't. No risk, right? So what are you waiting for? Call today. It's quick to change your current service, incredibly reliable, 24/7 support, and payments are processed quickly. Tell him Dani sent you. There's nothing to lose. Call 850-200-0709. 850-200-0709. Stop overpaying today.
Ever wondered how to advertise on The Dani Johnson Show with tens of thousands of people just like you listening? Thinking about the things you do, Talking about the things you do and needing products and services you need? Savvy business owners and marketing directors advertise on The Dani Johnson Show. Advertise your products or services on The Dani Johnson Show. Email info@intellerep.com or call 251-928-9400. 251-928-9400.
Helping you get a grip on your priorities and your focus. The Dani Johnson Show. Here's Dani Johnson.
Bringing more value at home as well as at work. You want to learn how? Call 844-200-3264. Again, that's 844-200-3264. We've got Tanya on the line from San Diego, California. Tanya, welcome to the show.
Hi, Dani. Thank you for taking my call.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, perfectly.
So my question was, I'm a homeschooling mom, and I have 4 children, and I'm coming into a new season to where I only have 2 younger kids in the house, and I was trying to recuperate from having all 4 of them and trying to see if now is a good time for me to step out and start doing an in-home business.
Okay.
I'm just wondering, as a fat buyer that has been tremendously groomed, and I'm coming into an area where I can do so much, but I feel like putting a job at home would just be well over my ability right now.
Yeah.
When is it?
Yeah, when is like a good time to start going off and doing that? Well, you still got 2 kids in the house, and for other people, that's a really big job. I know for a year, you're like, oh my gosh, it's so much more quiet. The house is so much more organized. But and by the way, I've been in those same exact shoes. You know, when you've lost a couple, they've moved on, you've got 2 left. The house seems like foreign. It's like totally different territory, and it takes a while for our head to wrap around it. But I think you already answered your question, Tawny, is that you thought if I were to add a business or a job into my current situation was still homeschooling 2 kids, I think I'd be overwhelmed. Then the answer, now is not the time. That's the answer. It's not the time. Listen, you've only got a few years left with these last 2 kids. And if you're in a financial position, as you've been in the same financial position for years, that your husband is fully taking care of you and the family, I wouldn't be worrying about trying to make some money. I'd be maximizing the time that you have left with the latter 2 kids. And you will know when the time is right. You will know. And by the way, being a homeschooling mom and having all the skills that you've had of running a household filled with 4 kids and 2 adults, that's a lot of skills, girl. That's a lot of skills that you can bring into the marketplace and do very, very, very well with. So now's not the time. You'll know when it is the right time. So go be homeschooling those 2 kids and make the absolute best out of it. All right, this is Dani Johnson. We're going over here to Dawn on line 2 from Sandusky, Ohio. Welcome to the Dani Johnson Show.
Hey, Dani, how are you?
Great.
Good. Hey, I got a quick question. I have been in the direct selling business. Well, I've been in it for a while, but in my current job for about 3 years. I was very successful, grew to one of the top income earners, but then I allowed a lot of the stress and drama after leading a team that I've never led as large as I have.
Right.
So that kind of stopped me, slowed me down. I realized that my leadership level was not really where it was supposed to be. I've now dug into leadership development and personal growth and things of that sort. Now I'm looking at wanting to surround myself with more influential people to grow my business again.
Yes.
I feel as if I have the belief in myself, but I really don't know where to start.
Well, that's a great question. And Don, I'm really proud of you that you realized that your leadership level was not where it needed to be able to lead the size of business that you had built. And that goes for everybody. It really does. Our income will always follow our leadership development, what our leadership skills are, what our character is, how we handle problems. Do we get sucked into drama? Do we get our feelings hurt? Do we get easily offended? Yeah, that's a low level of leadership. And when our business has grown to a bigger level of leadership than what we can handle, it will always shrink back down to the level of leadership we can manage. So that's why it's really important to grow our character, to grow in our leadership skills, to grow in our problem-solving skills, and to mature. And that's what you just went through. You went through a season of having the opportunity to mature. You're in that maturing process even right now. So where do you start? Right where you're at. You start right where you're at, and you begin to build. The first thing you really need to do is to forgive yourself for the loss in which you have encountered because of getting sucked into drama. Number one, you need to forgive the drama kings and queens who spewed, whether it was gossip or slander or discord or whatever it is they decided to do with their mouths instead of using their mouths to make money. Well, you need to forgive and release and bless those people, and you need to start now. Just start building relationships. Start building again, and do not take the past experience with you in a negative way, but take the past learning experience that you had to rise up to be the leader that you know you could have been or should have been then, but you will do now. So that's what you got to do. You got to start right where you're at. Thanks so much for the call. Good. Congratulations, Dawn, for your success, and congratulations for the success that you're about to have that will far supersede the one that you had in the past. This is Dani Johnson. We're taking line 3, Rhonda from Birmingham, Alabama. Rhonda, welcome to the Dani Johnson Show.
Hey, okay, I'll make it quick. I am type A personality. My husband is more passive. He has been with a dealership now for 18 years.
Wow.
He is a service technician / mechanic.
Nice.
And just recently I said, okay, babe, how long has it been since you've had a raise? He said, 2 years. I said, okay, don't you think you should go in and ask for a raise? And so, and I've encouraged him in this way to, approach it not cocky, but confident. Look, I'm very loyal. I've been here 18 years. If any of my coworkers need me, I'm here to help them. If I'm sick, I still come into work. I'm always here. What is some more ways or more creative as a wife to accentuate him, to encourage him? Because, like, other technicians make like $10 more an hour. Okay. What can I do without being a nag to encourage him to ask for a raise?
What you could do to not be a nag to your husband is don't be a nag to your husband, number one.
Yeah, which I'm not. I just encourage him every couple of years, to ask for a raise.
I know, Rhonda, but why do you want your husband to get a raise?
Well, he deserves it, and he's earned it.
Well, if your husband felt like he deserved it and he'd earned it, he'd be having that conversation without his mother telling him to. So I'm a big fan of a wife being a wife and not a mother. And honestly, when you were telling me how you talked to your husband, what you told him he should do, you sounded like you were his mother, Rhonda. And that's something we got to be really careful of.
Way to approach it.
It's better not to approach it. There are just some things that are better not to say. And your husband is providing for your family. He's working hard. And when you say you're aggressive and he's passive, or you're type A and he's passive, that is to say that you feel like your husband needs to be more of a man. Your husband's a good man. He's a gentle man. He's a sweet man. And there's a lot of women that would love to have that kind of a man versus maybe an aggressive workaholic man. And so what I'd be doing from your perspective is I'd be loving my husband and thanking him so much for how hard he works, that even when he's sick, he shows up there. Thank you so much for your loyalty of 18 years. I've never had to worry about you getting some wild hair coming out your nose and doing something stupid. Thank you so much for your devotion and your dedication to our family and working so hard. And I'm sure they really appreciate all the hard work and effort that you do. And I believe in it at that, because if you build up your husband's confidence, not build up his argument on how he should go in and ask for a raise, but if you build up his confidence in how he is the provider of the household, men have a really hard time when their wives try to tell them what to do. And if you are a type A personality, you probably tell him what to do more often than you think, and you probably nag him more than you think because you don't think it's nagging. You're only trying to help him make more money. If he wanted to make more money, he would go make more money, and he would have that conversation with his boss. So I would drop it if I were you. That's my take on it, you could do whatever you want to with that. You've heard enough, hopefully, in today's show of different strategies that I've given people. But even if you were to suggest to your husband, you should listen to Dani's show on what she talked about today on getting raises. She talked to this woman, Maria, and she told Maria exactly what to say when she went in to get that. If your husband was calling me, then I'd give him the answer. But I don't know that it's wise to give it through his wife. If he has a question, he'll get the answer. So that's my suggestion. Love on your husband. That'll build his confidence more than anything instead of telling him what to do. Rhonda, I love you that you could actually take that. You're amazing. You're absolutely amazing. Thank you. Thank you. This is Dani Johnson. We're taking your call. I just love that. You know, and look at these bold women. How do I get my husband to get a raise? You know, like, sit back, honey. You make a man not feel like a man when you give the message that he's not making enough or that he's not doing enough. That's the facts. It really is. We actually, if there is one place to hit a guy where it hurts the most, it is simply giving him a message that he ain't making enough. That's the message that we give him when we are trying to encourage him to get a raise. That's what we're telling him. You are not making enough. You are not working hard enough. You're not doing this right. You're not doing that right. That does not help a man feel like a man. In my opinion, through my experience of the thousands of men that I've worked with throughout my entire 20+5 years of coaching, business consulting, these are the complaints that we hear. I wish my wife would just believe in me. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more after this.
Next on The Dani Johnson Show, making things better for you by making things better for your company. Stay tuned.
Radio talk show host Dani Johnson in Kadwa, Haiti.
Hi, I'm Dani Johnson, and I'm here with Vida in her tiny little home. This home is the size of many people's closets in the United States of America. Now, we're sitting on a bed, just a piece of sheet or plastic that these beautiful babies sleep on. They have nothing. This family has nothing. No water, no food, nothing. Won't you do something? The Bible says that if you ignore the cry of the poor, then you too will cry and be ignored. They're not asking for nice clothes. They're asking for food. That's it. Food, water. You can help. We want to build her a home. We want to bring water, clean, fresh water here. But we can't do it alone. We need you.
Help us radically change a community. Go to kingsransom.org to make your donation to Kadwa, Haiti. That's kingsransom.org.
Dani Johnson here, and you're listening to The Dani Johnson Show with tens of thousands of people just like you. People thinking about what you think about, talking about what you talk about, and needing the same products and services you need. It's a place where like-minded consumers gather, savvy business owners, marketing directors, and responsive individuals making significant buying decisions. From consumer home goods and services to business products, people just like you needing the same things you need. They should be buying your product and service or doing business with your company. I'd love to help. To find out how to advertise on this show, email info@intelerep.com. That's info@INTELEREP.com or call 251-928-9400. That's info@intelerep.com or 251-928-9400.
We're back. Here's Dani Johnson.
Yeah, you know, there's so many times where I've nagged my husband and I didn't even realize it, and then he'd say things like, "Quit telling me what to do." And then I realized, actually through a lot of counseling, that my husband didn't want to be married to his mother, but he wanted to be married to his girlfriend. And when I was his girlfriend, gosh, I thought he walked on water. I thought there was no wrong that he could do. All of a sudden, I became his wife and I turned into a mother. Terrible. His mother. Bad idea. Women who are listening, do not tell your husband what to do, and especially when you send a message to him that he's not making enough. And we do that a lot of different ways, that we go out and we want to start our own business to make more money, even though he's providing for us to be home with the kids, you know, or like in Hans and my case, I was already a businesswoman when we met. I was 22 and I was already now running my third company actually. And, you know, he was 18 fresh out of high school, you know, so our relationship started with me being a business owner and having, you know, lots of money and all of that kind of stuff and lots of responsibility. But we have a tendency of saying little things as wives that actually hurt our husband's confidence and instead of building it up. And so complaining about money in front of your husband, bad idea. It makes him feel like he is not doing enough, even though he's working his tail off for his family. Complaining about money, we can't afford it. We don't have, I wish someday we could. I wish your boss would give you a raise. This does not improve his earning power at all. This creates a wedge between his wife and his boss or his business, and it does not turn into something that's flourishing and growing. The best thing we can do is to encourage our husbands and to believe in them and to stand by them and stand with them even during those times where they feel that they might be taken advantage of, or they feel like they want to learn how to make more money. And sometimes all we need to be is a listening ear and not be the counselor to our husband. It's kind of out of order. Yeah, and it can really stir some fights, especially when you're young. And if you have a past like mine and Hans's, it'll create a war. Yeah, that's what I found. It creates a war. It's better for me to keep my mouth shut. Yes, there are some times where we just need to shut up. Have you ever found that true about yourself too? I have. Lord have mercy, have I found that. Okay, so today we've been talking about you getting promoted in your job. Man, we've had all kinds of great conversation in today's job. But again, let's just finish off this segment with how in the world do you create value when you're brand new? Well, brand new in a brand new position. This is important. Okay, go here. Think about it. How did you interview for this position? Even if you're not brand new, I want you to go back and think about the interview that you had, okay? And I want you to think about the mindset that you had. Was your mindset, I will do anything to get hired here? Is what you sold in that interview, you know, I'm always on time. I have a great attitude. I work well with people. I'm a team player. Think about the things that you sold the interviewer. So if you want to know how do I get promoted quickly in my new position, or even how do I get unstuck from my old position, get promoted from there, look at what you sold them. Because you both sold each other, right? So the interviewer was selling you how great it was to work for this company, and you as the one being interviewed, you sold yourself to them. And you made promises to them. So go back and identify what were the promises that you made. Did you promise that you kept deadlines? Did you promise that you liked to work ahead? Did you promise that you were easygoing and easy to work with others? Did you promise that you got things done usually faster than others? Did you promise that you were really efficient and you really cared a lot about being efficient with time and not wasting time? Did you promise that you would keep the company's goals first and foremost in your mind? What promises did you make? What did you sell to that company? The reason why they hired you is because of what you sold them that you would and could do. And of course, we always present our best, right? Well, then what's the answer to getting a raise? Give your best. Because if you don't follow through with what you said, well, now they feel like they've been bamboozled, they were lied to, and now they've got a pile of frustration in their hands. Instead of who they thought was going to bring solutions, they wound up with problems instead. So that's why you want to make sure and honor your word. Honor your word. It might be a really good idea to have those things written down because we forget, don't we? We forget what we promise. This is why it's really funny. Whenever I do interviews with people, I actually sell them the negative. I try to scare them out of wanting the job is what I do. So that once they take it, it actually is better than what they thought. And unfortunately, in our case, because many of our clients have a tendency of applying for jobs within our company, which is not a bad thing. It's a great thing because they are excited. They believe in our messaging. They've had their life impacted as a direct result of what we teach. But then they get behind the veil, if you will, behind the curtain, and they see, oh, these people are normal. These people are like everybody else. Oh, they make mistakes. You know, so that's why I have a tendency of selling people against it and saying, hey, listen, you and I aren't going to be together every day. In fact, it might be a month before I ever even see you. I'm not the person you'll be working with directly every single day, and we have problems just like any other business has problems. Anywhere that you have people, there's always going to be problems. So you need to understand that this isn't going to be our event, First Steps to Success, every single day here at DaniJohnson.com. Things break. Things fall apart. Women PMS. So do some of the men. This is a reality of life. So anyway, I don't know if that was helpful to some of you business owners, but sometimes we can do an overselling of a position and we're setting up that brand new hire for failure if we're making promises we have no intention of keeping. And same on the reverse side of the coin. Make sure that if you're interviewing for a position, do not sell something you don't plan on fulfilling every single day. Because if you are one of those that gets distracted with Facebook or Twitter or YouTube, I couldn't believe it. I'm pulling to Belize Airport and I could see through the glass the security guard that is sitting there. He is watching a YouTube video. Not on security. It was on chicks in bikinis. Wow, that's what he was doing with government time. And then again, it's those people who get laid off. It's those people that don't get bonus. It's those people that don't get a raise. And who do they blame? My boss or the government, or they don't see everything that I do. No, the problem is they do see a lot more than what you think. And you don't like that fact. Anyways, I hope today was helpful for you, by the way. If you got any bit of a tip out of today and you plan on using it, please let us know. Come over to DaniJohnson.com and click on the post that announced today's show. Scroll down, leave us a comment right there. We want to hear from you. We want to know also how we can improve our job here of serving you every day and helping you to hit some of those important goals. And if today's goal was to become more valuable, get a raise, get promoted, make more money, well, that's what the last 2 hours of the Dani Johnson Show has been about. So we'd love to hear from you. And by the way, don't forget, if you're a brand new listener or viewer of the Dani Johnson Show, we got a gift for you. Call this phone number, get your copy now, 866-760-8255. That's First Steps to Wealth, how I went from homeless to a millionaire, now multimillionaire with several different businesses. How you can do the same, how you can annihilate your debt, improve your relationships, everything. Get your copy right now. You can get an ebook absolutely free at DaniJohnson.com. If you want a physical copy, you pay the shipping to get the $15 book to your house. We'd be happy to ship the book to you. So again, that number is 866-760-8255. 866-760-8255. Thanks so much for joining me and the rest of us here with the Dani Johnson Show. We'll talk to you tomorrow with another awesome topic. Bye.
We want to thank you for listening to the Dani Johnson Show. We hope you found inspiration, answers, and hope to renew your happiness in life and learned how to make the most of today and tomorrow.
Is God calling you to the entertainment industry? Do you want to rise for Him? Do you want to be an actor, model, singer, or dancer and shine for God? Do you think the world needs better role models? Do you want to be a star for the Most High God? Actors, models, and talent for Christ is coming to a city near you. A new generation of Christian performers is rising. Call 800-STAR-420 or go to amtcaudition.com. God gave you talent for a reason, and that is to shine for Him. So we are searching for actors, models, singers, and dancers. Go to amtcaudition.com to find out when and where the next free audition will be held. Entertainment is the best opportunity for Christians to change the world, and the time is now. Are you ready for that call? 800-STAR-420 or go to amtcaudition.com. That's actors, models, and talent for Christ. Register for your audition today.